Well, what do you guys think of this? This is a good tier list, right? Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Another tier list, man. Another tier list. To be fair, man, I had to make this one because on my last tier list video, everyone said, "Ah, man, don't make an SKM tier list, man. No one plays SKM. Make a duel one." Yeah. So I'm gonna make a duel tier list this time. But the main reason why I'm doing it is if you guys didn't know, my SKM tier list got how many did it get? 30k viewers. It got like 30k viewers, man. That my last tier list video blew up. It absolutely blew up. I think it's my most viewed video now. Delete this? Whoa! Why do you want me to delete this, Sweeps? You don't like this tier list? You don't think this is a good tier list? Nah, this is a good tier list, man. This is a very good tier list. Bad tier list. Okay, fuck you, Angel. Okay. Let's get this started, man. Let's get this started. So, this is a dual tier list of the weapons in Mordhau. So, before I start, I'm gonna tell you guys what makes a weapon good for duels. Okay, it's very simple. Very simple. What makes a weapon good for duels is the weapon's stamina drain. If a weapon has high stamina drain, it's gonna drain more stamina from someone's when someone parries it. Another thing is damage. So if the weapon is 2 hit to kill, it's always, most of the time, it's better than a 3 hit to kill weapon. And obviously 4 hit to kill weapons and 3 hit to kill weapons are weaker in duels. And then we also have range. More range is better. Okay, so now you guys know that. Wait, my chair is loud, isn't it? Yeah, my chair is loud as fuck. I can't do anything about it though, I'm sorry. Okay. So the way I'm gonna do this, guys, I'm gonna hold my cursor over the weapon that I'm gonna be talking about. So just like the last video. So if you guys don't wanna watch the entire thing, you can just skip to the weapon that you want to hear about. So yeah, alright, let's get this started. I'm gonna start from the top. So we have the broken tier. This is the S tier weapons. So at the very top, we have the this one is obvious. We have the Zweihander, and the Zweihander right now is completely broken. It has completely broken duels. There is no weapon better than this. Zweihander is completely broken. The reason why Zweihander is so good is because the weapon is just completely unreadable. It is 100% unreadable. The weapon is so the drags on the weapon last for ages, man, like literally ages, and you can bring the weapon down in like one frame. One frame excels with this weapon, and you can do 10-year drags. Not only that, but the weapon also 2 shots, tier 3 helmet, and not only does it 2-shot a tier 3 helmet, the weapon can also combo. At the same time as the weapon has some of the highest range in the game. So, it also has 20 stamina drain. So 20 stamina drain is already insane. But the main thing about the Zweihander is the unreadable animations. So yeah, completely broken weapon. It definitely needs some nerfing. Also, fun fact, the Zweihander was so OP that I actually banned Zweihander from my own duel yard for a small period. I unbanned it again, but I got so tilted over this weapon, it's just too broken for duels. So I actually did ban it on my duel yard. But yeah, it's back now. So so I don't have to listen to Zweihander fans crying. Yeah, I know, Streetlamp. People were crying about Zweihander being banned. But yeah, if you only care about winning in duels, pick Zweihander. So yeah, I think there are more things to say about the Zweihander, honestly, but I think that about wraps it up. Okay, next one. Next one, we have my favorite weapon in the game. We have the Bassisword, man. The Bassisword is actually, if you think Bassisword is better than Zweihander, I'm not gonna blame you. Bassisword is on the same level as Zweihander. Now, here's a tip for you guys. If you guys always lose to Zweihander, and you cry and you tilt so much over the Zweihander, If you want to find a weapon that can compete against a Zweihander, go Bastard Sword. If you are tired of dying to Zweihander crutches, pick Bastard Sword, man. And just step spam them and spam more feigns. The Bastard Sword is just completely broken, man. After the recent buff where the Bastard Sword slash, it free hit to kills now. So yeah, it has the best morphs in the game. It has a very broken stab. I would say it probably has the best stab in the game. It probably does have the best stab in the game. Because if the morph is good, then the stab is good too. And the weapon free hits kills. And it's probably harder to read than Zweihander. Actually, they're probably equally as hard to read. The difference between the Zweihander and the Bastard Sword though is that with Zweihander, your opponent can get lucky if they gamma read. Voice correct. Your opponent can get lucky and gamma read, but you can't get lucky against Zweihander. So that's the difference. But Bastard Sword is very OP. So this is the weapon that, if you want to counter Zweihander players, pick Bastard Sword. If you don't want to play Zweihander yourself. And I guess the good thing about Bastard Sword too is that you don't need to spend thousands of hours practicing swing manip. You don't need swing manip with Bastard Sword. What you need with Bastard Sword is good feints and good morphs. So yeah, that's about it for the Bastard Sword. Next up we have the pole hammer. And the pole hammer is I remember in my SCAM tier list I put this one I put this at the top 1 spot. And I believe it's also extremely broken for duels as well. The reason why the pole hammer is not at the top is because it doesn't have combo. The pole hammer can combo, so that's the only reason why the pole hammer is not top 1. But the pole hammer has 21 stamina drain. It has a shit ton of range. It probably has the best overheads in the game. I think pole hammer has the best overheads in the game. Very broken overheads, you just can't. Unreadable overheads, complete unreadable overheads that just two-shots you. So yeah, very OP weapon, very annoying weapon to fight against. So I think that's about it for the pole hammer. Why do you have 2 quarterstaffs in your tier list? I don't have 2 quarterstaffs. Are you talking about this one? This one looks like a this is the quarterstaff and this is the spear. You can see the there's like a few pixels of metal up here, if you didn't notice. But this is the spear. So yeah. Alright, let's move on, man, to the all mode halberd. Just the halberd, but when we talk about halberd, we're talking about all mode halberd. So all mode halberd, it's very similar to pole hammer actually. It's like the same weapon, but with the all mode halberd you have less damage. It's pretty much the same weapon, can combo, but it has a shit ton of range and it has a shit ton of stamina drain. But yeah, I think these weapons are equals, to be honest. I think these weapons are kind of equal. But the pole hammer does have more damage, to be honest. And all mode halberd, I guess, has some better stabs. Good stab drags too. Okay, moving on to the classic one. This is the classic, man. The Evening Star. It's been there since day 1, man. And to be fair, like, Evening Star is not as broken as it used to. It's gotten a lot of nerfs, and you lose quite a lot of stamina for missing with the Evening Star. And believe me, the turn cap is kind of strict on the Evening Star, so you do miss quite a lot. It's easy to miss with the Evening Star, but it has high reward. Good stamina drain and good damage. Hard to read. So yeah, that's why I put it up here on the broken tier. But yeah, recently I do struggle a little bit with the Evening Star because it feels like if you miss once with the Evening Star, you just lost some stamina completely. But if you don't miss, then yeah, Evening Star, broken weapon. Next up we have Execution Sword. It's very similar to Evening Star, but it's an Evening Star that can combo. But I think the strength that Execution Sword has over the Evening Star is that I don't know if it's just me, but the Execution Sword has some scuffed animations. Very scuffed animations, man. I can't read Execution Sword swings. But Execution Sword has 21 stamina drain. The only bad thing about Execution Sword is that you can't combo with it. So that's why Execution Sword is worse than all of these right here. Also, Papa, if I see you spamming those rest and sleeper emotes, I'll ban you, man. It only has 20 stamina drain, not 21. Okay, thank you for the correction. Voice crack. Thank you for telling me that, sunglasses. So yeah, 20 stamina drain, not 21. But 20 stamina drain is still good. But yeah, it's not as good as 21 stamina drain. So I would I'll definitely put Evening Star higher. Exec has only swingman nip, and that's it. Everything else at Exec is dog shit. Yeah, but it does have a huge. I mean, not really. It has good swingman nip. Yeah, it does feel like the swingman nip is very easy to do, but it's also too hard to kill. You know, it's also too hard to kill. It would be higher if footwork wasn't so broken in this game. If footwork was weaker, I think Exec would probably be top 1. But yeah, there's something about the Exec swingman nip. It feels so easy to do. I don't know why, man. It feels so easy. There's something about the animation on the Exec. Oh, wait, maybe I need some Pepsi. Ugh. Shut up, Angel. Okay, moving on to the last tier of the broken tier, or what last weapon of the broken tier. We got the Maul, man. This one is a little bit of a controversial one. A lot of people don't think the Maul should be in the top tier, and I can actually understand that. But the Maul has how much is it? 24 stamina drain, right? It has 1 hit to kill potential, and it has 24 stamina drain. 24 stamina drain is absolutely OP. Very broken, man. Very broken. And it has the most damage in the game. If you get 1 hit with the Maul in the body, you're like 1 shot to everything. And if you hit a headshot, you obviously 1 shot with the Maul. But it has one big weakness, and that's the range and the no ability to combo. So if you are playing Maul, I would only say that this weapon is top tier if you are fighting someone who is on full heavy armor. If your opponent is playing less armor than tier 3, then you're just gonna get lean back. You're gonna get footwork. You're gonna miss all the time with this weapon. So yeah, that's the problem that the Maul has, and that's why I put it at the bottom of the broken tier. If the Maul had slightly worse stamina drain, I would put it in a tier lower, but because the Maul has 24 stamina drain and insane damage, I think it has to be on the broken tier. Okay, now we're done with all the broken weapons. Let's move down to the high tier. So at the top of high tier, we have a classic one. We have the Poleaxe. Poleaxe, very good weapon, man. Also for SKM. A top tier weapon for both SKM and duels. The reason why I put it at the top of high tier is because of the weapon's speed. It has very good swing mana, very easy swing mana. The weapon is fast. In old mode, the weapon has 20 stamina drain, right? Or is it 18? Wait, no, wait, sorry, 19 or 20? I can't remember. Is it 20 in old mode? Anyways, the weapon has everything. The Poleaxe can literally do anything, man. With old mode, you can turn the weapon into a blunt weapon, and in normal mode, it's a cleave weapon with fast speed. And it also has a good stab. It has a very good stab. And the old mode has 2 hit to kill potential. And the animations are just scuffed on the Poleaxe. So yeah, very, very good weapon for both duels and SKM. It has 19? Okay, 19. Alright, moving on to the, this is probably my favorite weapon right now in the game, the bodies. The bodies, insane. It has 2 hit to kill potential if you hit a headshot with the slash. It has very good range and has decent stamina drain. 19 stamina drain, I think, or is it 20? I think it's 20, right? I can't remember, but yeah, it's like a Poleaxe but with more the bodies is like a Poleaxe but with more like power to it. So it has very good slashes, good combos, and good damage as well. So if you wanna find a cool dual weapon to main, go bodies, man, because the bodies is my main dueling weapon right now. Very fun to play. It has good overheads too, and some nice swing manip. Okay, next up we have the longsword. Longsword is actually underrated in my opinion. The longsword is actually very good. It is very fast, and I know it only has 19 stamina drain, but it makes up for that stamina drain with the little amount of points that this weapon costs to be in your build. Because this weapon is so cheap to have in your build that you can have second wind and you can have acrobat and stun in your build at the same time with full heavy armor, I think. So yeah, the longsword has good stamina game. Because the longsword is also has very if you miss with the longsword, it's also very cheap. I think you lose like 9 stamina for a miss, right? So but longsword is stronger against heavy armored opponents. Against opponents with like medium armor and light armor, it can be quite hard to like hit your swing mana with the longsword. But the longsword has insane drags and insane excels. And very good feigns as well. If you're more like the feint guy, you can also feint spam with this weapon. The weapon also has good feints and good morphs, so you can kind of choose how you want to play with the longsword. So yeah, very very good weapon for duels, especially against opponents with heavy armor. You have to go 3-3-2 to have all that exactly, yeah. But sacrificing your tier 3 armor for tier 2 is worth it. Doesn't change much. Doesn't change much. Also, thank you for the sub, Mason. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Mason. Also, you are the silly bot here. Hello, Commando. Oh, got that Pepsi, man. Okay, moving on to a weapon that I really don't like fighting. The Messers. The Messer has 20 stamina drain. So that's actually I don't understand why Messer has 20 stamina drain. It's one of the smaller swords in the game. That's what she said. I don't know, the great sword is bigger, it's a lot bigger than the Messer, but the Messer for some reason has 20 stamina drain. It's like a long sword, but with more stamina drain and better slashes. So and the Messer is also very fucking fast. Very fast weapon. So yeah, definitely a very threatening weapon to go against. So this weapon it has both insane offense and it has insane if you're scared to drag your opponent, just play the stamina game, honestly. 20 stamina drain, man, just play the stamina game. Or you can just do 1 frame XLs. The weapon does have insane XLs. So yeah, that's the Messer. The billhook is a very annoying weapon to fight against too, I'm not gonna lie. The problem about the billhook is its damage. It's like 4 hit to kill with slashes, I think, and like 3 to kill with stabs. But every time you get hit with the billhook, it has like this thing where it pulls your opponent towards you. So if you hit someone with billhook, your opponent gets pulled into you, and then you can mix it up by comboing into a kick and stuff. So that's like you can kind of cheese with the billhook, and at the same time the billhook is, I don't know why, but I can't parry the billhook. I think the billhook is probably, it's almost as hard to parry the Zweihander as it is to parry the billhook. I don't know why, but billhook has scuffed animations, man. Scuffed animations. If you're fighting a player who knows how to play this weapon correctly, you're gonna have a hard time, man. Very annoying weapon to fight against, and it's very cheese too. But it is very good, a very good weapon, because it has good stabs and it has good slashes. And it has the pull mechanic, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I put it in high tier. Surely you don't rate Falx better than GS? Anything in this game is better than GS. My god. The GS is dog shit, man. GS is dog shit. Falx is definitely better. But we'll get to that in a bit. We'll get to that in a bit. Alright. Next up, we got the short spear, which I actually kind of like. I kind of like the short spear. It's like the short spear is like a weaker version of the bass sword. The short spear has better, it has good stabs and has better range. But the weapon can combo, and the weapon has weaker slashes than the bass sword. But I think that the no combo on the sword spear, it makes up for it with the more range on the weapon. So yeah, the stab's also 2 to kill in the helmet, a tier 3 helmet. I kind of like the sword spear, man. Sword spear is fun to play. It is one of the better one-handed weapons, to be fair. Why is it 2 quarterstaffs? There's not 2 quarterstaffs. This is a spear. This is the big spear. Big spear. Okay, moving on to the Falcons. Okay, this is an interesting one. Because a lot of people in comp think this weapon is shit. And I can understand that because no one plays this weapon. Literally no one plays this weapon at all, man. This is one of the least popular weapons in the entire game right now. But the reason why I put the Falcons in high tier is because, first of all, the Falcons is like, it's like an executioner sword that can combo. So it's like, Falcons has 20 stamina drain. So already there we have that's a very good start for a good dueling weapon. It has 20 stamina drain, and the weapon has 2 hit to kill potential against the tier 3 helmet. Not only does it have that, but it's also, this weapon also counters light armor. I do believe Falcons one-shots light armor in the body, right? So it also counters light armor, kind of. It also, the weapon is also, like, it can also combo. And it has very scuffed animations, man. The slashes are scuffed. I swear, the weapon is hard to read. Very hard to read. The only problem with the Falcons is the weak stabs, man. Don't ever stab with the Falcons. It's not worth it. The stabs are very hard to aim with. They're slow. And they have no rewards. There's no reward, man. Almost no damage. So, yeah, the Falcons is mainly a slashing weapon. I think the Falcons is more range than the longsword. I don't think the range of the Falcons is that bad. I mean, sure, it could have more range, but it has enough range, in my opinion. It has enough range. And it has good damage, and it has good stamina drain. And it still has the combo. Oh shit, it has the same range? Really? Damn. Alright. Let's move on. Move on to one of my favorite weapons in the game. The battle axe. So the battle axe, it has good slashes. 2 to kill potential. It has only 19 stamina drain, but you can make up for it by getting a second win on your build. Because the battle axe is not very expensive to have in your build, so you can have second win, and then you can also choose to have you can also get stun or acrobat if you want to. So the only problem with the battle axe is the range. The battle axe doesn't have that much range, but it has very good slashes, and it has a very fast stab too. So yeah, it has some good overheads. So if you are a player who spams wiggles, and you combine those wiggle excels with overheads, then that's a very good playstyle for the battle axe actually. So yeah, that's why I put the battle axe here. Next up, we have a controversial one. This is the war axe. A lot of people shit on the war axe because it has no range, but the weapon is 2 to kill. 2 to kill potential, and it's extremely fast with extremely fast combos. So yeah, that's why I think it should still be in the high tier. But yeah, you guys are right. The weapon doesn't have the best range in the world. So that's why I'm gonna put it at almost at the bottom of the high tier. Also, hello, Brod. What are you doing here, Brod? Get out of this chat. Okay, moving on to the last high tier dueling weapon. Here I put the mace. The mace is very good. 2 to kill potential, and it's a one-handed weapon that almost costs no points, which means you can have all the good dueling perks on you. The only problem is range, though. Range is a huge problem for the mace. Huge problem. So yeah, I put it at the bottom of high tier, but it is a one-handed weapon that 2 to kills. Best sword, one-handed or two-handed better? One-handed is better for the best sword. Two-handed isn't bad. I think two-handed best sword is still very broken. It would probably be up here still, but one-handed best sword is just more. It's better for the feinting, feint playstyle, feint and morph spam. Only go two-handed best sword if you wanna swingman it, you wanna drag and excel. But if that's how you wanna play the game, then just pick another weapon. But you can try the two-handed best sword. You can try it. It's not bad if you wanna play like that. All right. Moving on, man. This is the biggest one. This is the most important one, man. So, the Great Sword. If you've ever watched the HatcheeT stream before, I always shit on the Great Sword, man. I think the Great Sword is too weak in this game. And I love playing Great Sword, man. Great Sword is a good weapon to play for learning, and it's a very balanced weapon. But the weapon is just too weak for duels, man. It's just too fucking weak. So I need some Pepsi, man. Oh. So, the Great Sword has decent swing mana. It has okay stabs. It's just a weapon that's okay. Okay stabs, okay swings, okay range. But the huge problem with the Great Sword is that it only has 19 stamina drain. The Great Sword only has 19 stamina drain. So, if you play Great Sword, you will never ever beat a weapon that's in the broken tier. You will never, if you're fighting a player equal to your skill level, you can't beat any of these with Greatsword. You just can't, man. How are you ever gonna beat a mole if the mole takes 24 if the mole has 24 stamina drain and you're playing Greatsword only has 19? How are you ever gonna win against this? Or even against an Evening Star that has 21 stamina drain. How are you ever gonna win on stamina? You can't, man. You just can't. 19 stamina drain is awful, man. It's awful. And the Greatsword doesn't have any strengths to make up for the 19 stamina drain, because the Greatsword costs a lot of points actually. The Greatsword is considered one of the heavier weapons, so it has more. It costs a lot of points, which means you can't have full heavy armor and then second win with Greatsword. You can have 3-3-2 and then second win, but I don't know, man. It's just 19 stamina drain is just awful. Awful, man. And the weapon is just... It's just overall too balanced, man. It's just too balanced. If it did more damage, then it could be better. But it's free to kill in it's free to kill in stabs and to slashes. And it has like medium range, so... It's just a fair weapon to play. It's just a balanced weapon. But keep in mind, the Greatsword is a balanced weapon in a broken game. So that's why this weapon is kind of weak, in my opinion. I don't understand why it only has 19 stamina drain. You can make Greatsword... The Greatsword will be high tier with just one extra stamina drain. If like, just in case you guys don't know how bad 19 stamina drain is, Messer has 20 stamina drain. And Messer's, well, you know, a smaller weapon than Greatsword. I don't know what the devs are thinking. Or should I say, I don't know what Crush is thinking. Like, there's no reason why Greatsword should only have 19. And then Messer should have 20. So, yeah, that's why the Greatsword is just too weak. Too weak. So, if you're wondering why you're losing duels with the Greatsword and you're fighting against these weapons, well, maybe it's because you're worse at the game than the player you're fighting. Well, you're not good at the game, but it's also because these weapons are just much better. You have to win. You have to win by having God tier swingman up, because you're not gonna win on stamina. You won't win on stamina. It's just impossible. So yeah, that's the Greatsword. I still main the weapon though. It's one of my main weapons, and it's one of the most fun weapons to play in the game. So if you want to have fun, go ahead and play the Greatsword. But let's say you're playing a ranked match, and your opponent switches to one of these. Yeah, don't stay on Greatsword. Don't do it. You're probably gonna lose. Unless you're winning, then stay on Greatsword. But if you're losing, then it's a weapon issue, not a skill issue. Trust me, I am always right. When it comes to Mordhau, I'm the smartest guy, you know? Don't listen to anyone in my chat. These guys know nothing. Swift, I'm gonna upload this tier list, so if you... Actually, I'm gonna upload the VOD too, so if you wanna hear my reasons why I put the Falcon so high, you can check the VOD or the YouTube video later, if you didn't listen. Or if you weren't here when I talked about it. Where's Scimitar? It's not on this tier list, because this is an outdated tier list. But if the Scimitar was here, I would probably put it at the top of weak tier. I don't know, the Scimitar is similar to all of these one-handed weapons. So alright. Next up. Actually no, maybe I would put the Scimitar in alright tier. That's actually a good question. Where would you guys put it? Is it better than S-Dog? Nah, S-Dog is definitely better, I think. I would probably put it at the bottom of alright tier. Irrelevant weapon, true. The Scimitar used to be very high tier, but they nerfed the speed on the stab, so the Scimitar did get a heavy nerf. But it's around here. It's in the middle of these two tiers right here. So it's just a playable weapon. It's not bad, but it's not good either. Okay, let's move on to the classic stouty weapon, or one of them at least. We have the falchion. Now the falchion is actually not that bad. I'm not gonna lie. The falchion is kind of underrated, in my opinion. It has some decent slashes and decent stabs, and oh my god, it has some. Its overheads are like, I don't know why, but like the overheads are like one frame with this weapon. Every time I'm fighting a falchion player, they just one frame overhead me all the time. I don't know what it is about this weapon and its overheads, but it's a decent weapon. It's actually not a bad weapon. Maybe it's even better than Greatsword. Do you guys think falchion is better than Greatsword? Actually, no. I think it has too little range. The range is too bad. The range is too bad, but it has a lot of speed, and it doesn't cost any points. So you can have everything. You can have shield and all your perks if you want that. But it's not a boring weapon to play actually. I enjoy playing falchion. Falchion, a fun weapon. It's okay. It's okay. And obviously you can play the falchion in both ways, just like a longsword. If you're not hitting your swing manip, if you feel like your swing manip is not working, you can just try and feint them out instead. It has good feints and good morphs. It's like a worse version of the best sword. Okay, next up we have the rapier. The rapier is not bad. The weapon is extremely fast. It has the fastest slashes in the game, I think. Good stabs as well. The problem about the rapier though is the range though. Doesn't have good range, and it doesn't have good stamina game either. You lose stamina very fast with the rapier. So yeah, and if it had more damage, it does deal a lot of damage against light armor, but most people play heavy armor in duels, so yeah, it's just okay. But it's not a top tier weapon. You think the rapier should be S tier, Angel? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think rapier is S tier worthy. It's not a bad weapon, but I don't know. I feel like you can counter rapier very hard by just spamming chambers. If you're fighting a rapier player, just spam chambers against them, and then you're gonna farm them. This weapon is kind of vulnerable to chambers. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, next up we have the spear. The spear in normal mode is probably just as bad as partisan. So don't play spear in normal mode for duels. But you can choose, if you want to play spear in duels, you can go alt mode spear. And then the spear will basically turn into a pretty much an S-Dog, but like the problem with the alt mode spear is that it has bad slashes. Just like the S-Dog. But like, you can swing mana with the alt mode spear. It's just not rewarding enough. So what you have to do is that you have to like, if you're good at cheesing, you have to like cheese with morphs, like morph and morph feigns. You have to like spam stabs into morphs and then just feign spam them. Or you can be like someone like Sturm, who can do like 360 spins, funny 360s, and just turn into a helicopter. But no, it's not a good playstyle. I'm just kidding, don't do that. But yeah, if you're good at cheesing, and you're good at feigning and morph feigning, you can make this weapon work in alt mode. But it's just too weak. It's just too weak. Like, all of these weapons are just better. So if you have a feint playstyle, if your playstyle is all about feigning, this weapon right here is just 50 million times better. Why would you ever play this when you can play this? Why, man? There is no reason to do it. And the S-Dog is kind of similar, but the S-Dog it has the it actually 2 shots in the helmet, right, with the stab. Yeah, I think it does, but it's very similar to. Actually, I think, now that I think about, why did I put alt mode spear higher than S-Dog? I think I would switch these two. I think S-Dog is actually better than alt mode spear in duels. Yeah, I would probably, if I had to remake this tier list, I would say S-Dog is better than spear, but they're almost the same, almost. The S-Dog just has the S-Dog is faster, and it has the 50 damage to the tier 3. So yeah, yeah, that's my opinion on that. Do a Mordhau comp map tier list? Maybe I will, actually. That actually sounds like an interesting topic. I'll make a tier list on everything in this game, man. Tier list on everything. I need all that content. Okay, now we're done with all the good weapons. Now we're gonna move on to the weak weapons. I'm only gonna talk about these because these weapons, all of these weapons right here, are considered meme weapons. So I'm just gonna talk. Actually, I'm gonna talk about all of these at the same time because they're all very similar. So the reason why I'm putting all of these one-handed weapons here in the low tier list, or in the weak tier, is because they all lack damage and they all lack range. So they have no range, they have no damage, and especially the arming sword. The arming sword is like, why would you ever pick arming sword when you can pick Bass's sword? This weapon is like 4 hit to kill. These two weapons, they play the exact same way. The exact same way. This weapon just has 10 times less damage and less stamina game. So yeah. Weak range, weak damage, weak stamina drain. There is the alt mode Warhammer though, which has 2 hit to kill potential. If you guys have watched Stouty gameplay, Stouty would probably say this weapon is OP, but it's really not, man. It's really not, because if you don't hit the headshot in alt mode, then you're like, your opponent is like 4 hit to kill with this weapon, and the weapon has bad stamina game, and in alt mode you can't combo with it, so you have to rely on hitting that headshot, and you just don't always hit the headshot. So yeah, it's easy to footwork this weapon, to be honest. It's kind of easy, and if you can footwork the weapon, just spam chambers. Just chamber spam this weapon, honestly. Okay, should we talk about the partisan too? I was not sure where to put the partisan, but I've just put it at the bottom, man. Because like the partisan is just too slow, man. Its stab can 2 hit to kill in the body, which is good, but very slow wind up, man. Very slow wind up. The wind up is almost too slow. Like the only thing you can do is to try and stab drag, like riposte and stab drag was this thing. Or you can like try and cheese with the morph and morph feints, but I don't know, man. It's just terrible. Terrible weapons for duels. You could argue that it is better than arming sword and maybe some of these, but I just wouldn't say so, man. The weapon is just too slow. Like, at least with Arming Sword, you can at least, like, put some pressure on your opponent by spamming wiggle stabs and then, like, some fast morphs and morph feints. But you can't even do that with the Partisan. It's too slow for that. Very slow. Slow wind up and slow release. And with the Partisan, it has weak slashes. Very weak slash. So it only does like, how much is it? 20 damage to tier 3? Awful, man. Awful. So yeah, the rest of these weapons are kind of considered meme weapons, to be honest. So these don't even play these weapons. Like, don't even think about it. Well, I mean, if you have enough points for a secondary weapon, you can put the short sword in there, or the cleaver maybe, if you want to. It's not gonna hurt if you do that. Partisan is 2 to kill. It is, but only with the stab. The stab that's very fucking hard to hit someone with. I feel like even if you're good at stab tracking, it's still hard. It's still hard to hit the stabs, man. The weaponing is just not the weapon is just not threatening at all. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, that's about it for this tier list. So yeah, I just felt like making a duel tier list because my SKM tier list did very well, man. It got 30k viewers. So, and a lot of people in that video said I had to make a duel tier list too. So yeah, that's I just felt like I had to do it. So thank you so much to all of those guys, all of you guys watching live on my stream right now. Twitch.tv HatcheeT with 2 E's and 2 T's, by the way. Go watch my stream if you want to watch me live, and if you want to get good at Mordhau. And thanks to all of you guys watching on YouTube. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Bot deleted? I will never delete my own bots, man. I could never do such a thing. Okay, I'll copy the link of this tier list and I'll post it right here in the chat if you guys wanna have a look at it there, if you guys wanna download it. But yeah, that was my tier list. I don't know. Do you guys agree? Before I end this, do you guys agree with most of my tier list here? Do you guys think? You guys in the chat right now, do you guys think this is an accurate tier list? Do you think it's mostly accurate? No? What do you mean, man? Why are you guys saying no, man? Okay. Guys, tell me what is not accurate about this tier list? Yeah, just exec down to high tier. Yeah, I do understand. If you want to put it at like the top of high tier, I can understand it because it doesn't have combo, and it has 20 stamina drain, right? So I mean, if you want to put it high tier, then sure, but the reason why I put exec at broken tier is because how easy it is to swing mana with this weapon. This weapon is very threatening and it's 2 to kill. I can't react to this weapon. Animations is just too scuffed, man. Greatsword so much better than Battle Axe. I don't agree. I do not agree. At all. Or maybe they're almost similar tier, but I think Battle Axe is just a little bit better. Just because it has more range. And the Battle Axe costs less points. The Falx would be insane if it had better stabs, to be honest. But the stabs kind of brings the Falx down. War Axe is better than Battle Axe. For duels, I don't know it, so I wouldn't say so. Battle Axe has more range than the War Axe, so yeah. The War Axe is, the range on the War Axe is actually bad. It's awful, man. It's awful. Your mom is a drone. Move stick. Okay, I think that's about it for this tier list. I think that's about it.